My name is David. I'm 53 years old, and the money I gave my stepson to help him get back on his feet was the same money keeping my heart beating. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not exaggerating for sympathy. That money, $17,000, was sitting in an account marked Emergency Medical Fund. It had one purpose: to keep me alive long enough to get the surgery I needed, and I gave it away in less than 10 minutes. I can still feel the moment I clicked confirm on that bank transfer. My hand was shaking, not from nerves, from the arrhythmia that had been getting worse for 3 months. My chest felt tight, like someone was standing on it while I sat there at my kitchen table, laptop open, watching those numbers disappear from my account and reappear in his. $17,000. Gone. Just like that. And I told myself it was the right thing to do. I told myself family comes first. I told myself I could wait a little longer. I was wrong about all of it. Before I keep going, if stories like this hit home for you, if you've ever been in a situation where you gave more than you should have because you thought it was the right thing to do, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I read them, more than you'd think. Sometimes your words are the only thing that reminds me I'm not alone in this. So please, just take a second. I'll wait. Thank you. Now let me tell you how I got here. 4 months before I gave him that money, I was sitting in a cardiologist's office being told that my heart was failing. Not might fail. Was failing. Present tense. Happening right now, every single day, a little bit more. Arrhythmia. Structural damage from an infection I didn't even know I had 2 years prior. The kind of thing that sneaks up on you, damages the valves, weakens the muscle, and by the time you notice the fatigue and the shortness of breath, it's already too late to reverse it naturally. The doctor didn't sugarcoat it. She was kind, but she was clear. You need a valve replacement. It's not optional. And the longer you wait, the more dangerous it becomes. I asked her how long I could wait. She looked at me like I'd just asked her to predict the weather a year from now. I can't give you a timeline, David. Your heart could compensate for 6 months, or it could give out next week. What I can tell you is that every day you delay, you're rolling the dice. The surgery cost $23,000 after insurance. I had 17 saved. I was 6,000 short. But I was working overtime, picking up extra shifts, doing everything I could to close that gap. I figured I'd have it by the end of the year, maybe sooner. That was the plan. And then Kyle called. Kyle is my stepson. He's 26 now. I've known him since he was 11, when I married his mother, Rebecca. She passed away 6 years ago. Cancer, quick and cruel. And after she died, Kyle and I stayed in touch. Not every day, not even every week, but enough. Enough that when he needed something, he called me, and I answered. I want to be clear about something. I never tried to replace his father. His biological dad was still around, still in his life, and I respected that. I didn't come in trying to be dad. I was just there. A stable presence. Someone who showed up when things got hard. And things got hard for Kyle, a lot. He struggled with jobs. Couldn't seem to hold one down for more than a few months. There was always a reason. Bad manager, unfair treatment, company downsizing, and I believed him. Every time. Because I wanted to believe that the world was just being unfair to this kid who'd already lost his mother. I'd helped him before. Small amounts. $300 here for rent, $500 there for a car repair, $1,000 once when he said he was going to lose his apartment. I never asked for it back. I never held it over his head. I just helped. Because that's what family does. That's what Rebecca would have wanted me to do. But this time was different. This time he called me in the middle of the night, 2 in the morning. I remember because I was awake anyway. Couldn't sleep, chest pains keeping me up, heart doing that fluttering thing that made me feel like a bird was trapped inside my ribcage trying to get out. David, he said, and his voice was shaking. I need help. I'm in real trouble this time. I sat up, asked him what was wrong. He told me he owed money, a lot of money, to people who weren't patient. People who'd already come to his apartment once, threatened him, told him they'd be back in 48 hours, and if he didn't have the cash, things were going to get bad. How much? I asked. 15,000, he said. My heart, literally, physically, skipped. I felt it, that pause, that terrible pause where it stops and you wonder if it's going to start again. Kyle, I said slowly, what did you do? He told me it was a loan. A stupid, desperate loan from the wrong people. He'd needed money fast for something he wouldn't explain, and he went to someone who didn't ask questions but charged interest that compounded weekly. He thought he'd be able to pay it back. He thought he'd get a job. He thought wrong. And now they were coming for him. I asked him if he'd gone to the police. He laughed. Not a real laugh. A hollow, bitter sound. They're not the kind of people you call the cops on, David. They know where I live. They know where I work, or worked. I got fired yesterday. I have nothing. I have no one else to call. I sat there in the dark, phone pressed to my ear, feeling my heart doing its broken, stuttering rhythm. And I thought about Rebecca. I thought about how she used to look at Kyle. How much she loved him. How she made me promise right before she died that I wouldn't abandon him, that I'd be there if he ever needed me. Please, Kyle said. I know it's a lot. I know I don't deserve it. But I'm scared, David. I'm really scared. And God help me, I believed him. I told him I'd help. I told him I had money saved. Not 15, I only had 17. But I could give him what I had, and he'd have to figure out the rest. Maybe borrow from his father, maybe work out a payment plan. The relief in his voice was overwhelming. He thanked me, over and over, said he'd never forget this, said he'd pay me back, said I was saving his life. I didn't tell him what that money was for. I didn't tell him that it was my life he was borrowing. The next morning, I went to the bank. I withdrew $16,000 in cash, kept $1,000 back, telling myself I'd need something left over for medications, and I met Kyle at a diner halfway between our apartments. He looked terrible, pale, tired, scared, just like he'd said. He hugged me when I handed him the envelope, held on a little too long. I could feel him shaking. Thank you, he whispered. I swear to God, David, I'll make this right. I told him to be careful, to stay safe, to call me when it was handled. He said he would. That was the last time I saw him for 3 weeks. The first few days, I told myself he was just busy, dealing with the situation, laying low. It made sense that he wouldn't call right away. But my chest didn't care about excuses. The pain got worse. The fluttering became constant. I started getting dizzy standing up. Twice I had to sit down in the middle of a shift at work because the room started spinning and I thought I was going to pass out. My coworkers noticed, asked if I was okay. I lied, said I was fine, just tired, just stressed, but I wasn't fine. I was dying, slowly, quietly, and I'd given away the only thing that could stop it. A week went by, then 2. I called Kyle. No answer. I texted. Nothing. I told myself maybe his phone was off. Maybe he was hiding. Maybe he was in danger and couldn't risk contact. I made excuses for him because I needed to believe I hadn't made a mistake. But deep down, in a place I didn't want to look, I knew something was wrong. On the 16th day after I gave him the money, I saw a photo on social media. It wasn't on Kyle's page. He'd been silent. Radio silence, like he'd vanished. But one of his friends posted a picture, a group shot. 5 or 6 guys at a bar, drinks everywhere, big smiles, arms around each other. Kyle was in the middle. The caption said, "Best night ever. Let's do this again soon." The photo was geotagged, a club downtown, expensive, the kind of place that charges $20 for a cocktail. The timestamp was from 2 nights after I gave him the money. I stared at that photo for 10 minutes. Just stared. My brain couldn't process it, couldn't make sense of it. This was a mistake, a misunderstanding. Maybe the photo was old. Maybe it was posted late. Maybe. But the comments told the truth. Dude, you were insane last night. Can't believe you covered everyone's tab. When did you win the lottery, LMAO? I felt something crack inside my chest. Not my heart, though God knows it was trying. Something else. Something I didn't have a name for. I called him. This time he answered. Hey, David, he said, casual, like nothing had happened. Like he hadn't ignored me for over 2 weeks. Kyle, I said, and my voice was shaking. Not from anger. Not yet. From confusion. From disbelief. I saw a photo from a club 2 weeks ago. Silence. Kyle, where's the money? More silence. Then, I can explain. Explain what? My voice cracked. Explain how you told me you were in danger and then spent my money, my life-saving money, in one night buying drinks for your friends? It wasn't like that, he said quickly. I did pay them. I paid the guys I owed. But I had some left over and I needed to blow off steam, David. I was stressed. I almost got hurt. I needed one night to just forget about everything. You had some left over. I couldn't breathe. Kyle, that was $17,000. How much did you owe? He hesitated. Like 4,000. He owed $4,000, and he'd taken 17, and spent the rest in one night. I don't remember what I said next. I don't remember if I yelled or if I just hung up. My memory goes blank, just static, just white noise. The next thing I remember is being on the floor, my kitchen floor, cold tile against my cheek, chest exploding, not pain exactly, pressure, like someone had reached inside my rib cage and was squeezing my heart in their fist. I tried to get up, couldn't. My left arm wasn't working right, tingling, numb. I thought very clearly, this is it. This is how it ends. I managed to reach my phone, managed to dial, managed to say my address before everything went dark. I woke up 3 days later in a hospital bed. Not 3 hours, 3 days. The nurse told me I'd been in a medically induced coma. My heart had gone into a dangerous rhythm, ventricular tachycardia, she called it, and they'd had to shock me twice to stabilize it. They'd done emergency surgery. Not the full valve replacement I needed, but enough to keep me alive. For now. The doctor came in a few hours later. Told me I was lucky. Told me if the ambulance had taken 5 more minutes, I wouldn't have made it. I asked how much the surgery cost. She looked uncomfortable. Told me I should focus on recovering first. I asked again. $38,000. After insurance, I owed $14,000 I didn't have. For a surgery I wouldn't have needed yet if I'd kept the money I'd saved. Kyle never visited me in the hospital. I found out later from a mutual friend that he knew I was there. He knew what happened. But he never came, never called, never sent a message. When I finally got home 2 weeks later, there was a text waiting for me. Hey, David, heard you were in the hospital. Hope you're okay. I'm sorry about everything. I know I messed up. I'll pay you back when I can. That was it. No call, no visit. No acknowledgement of what he'd done, what he'd taken from me. Just a text. I stared at it for a long time, and something inside me that had been holding on, some desperate, stubborn belief that family meant something, just let go. I didn't respond. I didn't block him. I didn't curse him out. I didn't demand the money back. I just stopped. Stopped answering. Stopped checking. Stopped hoping. Because I realized something in that moment, something that hurt worse than my heart ever could. I didn't just give him money, I gave him permission. Permission to see me as less than him. Permission to take what he wanted without consequence. Permission to treat my life as something disposable. And he did. He took it. He spent it. He walked away. And I almost died for it. I'm still recovering, physically, financially, emotionally. The hospital worked out a payment plan I can barely afford. I'm back at work, but I can't do overtime anymore. Doctor's orders. My energy is half what it used to be. Some days I can barely make it through a shift without needing to sit down. But I'm alive. And I learned something I wish I'd known before. Sacrifice without respect isn't love. It's surrender. Kindness without boundaries isn't family. It's exploitation. And giving more than you can afford, whether it's money or time or pieces of your own life, doesn't make you a good person. It makes you a target. I think about Rebecca sometimes, about the promise I made her. And I wonder if she'd understand why I had to break it, why I had to choose myself, why I had to let Kyle go. I think she would. I hope she would, because the truth is, I can't save someone who's drowning if I drown with them. I can't be there for someone who sees me as a resource instead of a person. I can't keep giving pieces of myself away until there's nothing left. Kyle made his choice, and I made mine. I chose to live. It sounds simple when I say it like that, but it wasn't. It isn't. Every day I have to make that choice again. Every time my phone buzzes and part of me hopes it's him, really him, not the version that needs something, I have to choose. And every time, it hurts a little less. I don't know what happens next. I don't know if Kyle will ever understand what he did. I don't know if he'll ever apologize. Really apologize, not just words in a text message sent out of guilt or obligation. But I know this. I can't wait around to find out. I can't put my life on hold for someone who treated it like it didn't matter. I can't keep breaking my own heart hoping someone else will learn to care. So I stopped, and I'm still here. Broken, maybe. Scarred, definitely. But here, still breathing, still fighting, still choosing myself. And if that makes me selfish, then I guess I'm learning to be okay with that. Because the alternative almost killed me. There are moments, quiet moments, late at night when I can't sleep because my heart is doing that irregular thing again, when I wonder if I should have seen it coming, if there were signs I missed. Red flags I ignored because I wanted so badly to believe Kyle was who I thought he was. And there were signs. God, there were so many signs. The way he only called when he needed something. The way he'd disappear for months and then show up with a crisis. The way he always had a reason, an excuse, a story that made him the victim and someone else the villain. I saw them. I did. But I told myself I was being cynical. I told myself I was judging him too harshly. I told myself that people make mistakes, and family means giving second chances. Third chances, fourth, fifth. How many chances does someone get before you're allowed to stop counting? How many times do you have to almost die before it's okay to walk away? I used to think love meant staying no matter what. That being there for someone meant absorbing their damage, their chaos, their consequences. That if you really cared about someone, you'd sacrifice anything, everything to help them. But that's not love. That's self-destruction dressed up as virtue. Real love has boundaries. It has limits. It says, I care about you, but I can't destroy myself to save you. It says, your choices are yours and mine are mine, and I won't set myself on fire to keep you warm. I wish I'd learned that sooner. I wish I'd learned it before I handed over $17,000 I couldn't afford to lose. I wish I'd learned it before I ended up on a kitchen floor wondering if anyone would find me in time. But I learned it, and now I carry it with me. Every day. A lesson written in scar tissue and hospital bills in 3 days I'll never get back. People ask me sometimes, friends, co-workers, the few family members I still talk to, if I regret it. If I wish I could go back and make a different choice. And the answer is complicated. Do I regret giving him the money? Yes. God, yes. Every single day. Do I regret trying to help him? I don't know. Because the version of me that made that choice was doing what he thought was right. He was honoring a promise. He was trying to be the person Rebecca believed he could be. And I can't hate that version of myself, even if his choice almost killed me. But I can learn from him. I can take what happened and use it to build something better, something stronger, a version of myself that doesn't equate love with suffering, that doesn't measure worth by how much I'm willing to give up, a version that knows my life matters too. That my heart, literal and metaphorical, deserves protection, that I'm allowed to choose myself. I'm still learning what that looks like. It's not easy. It's not natural. Every instinct I have still screams at me to reach out, to check in, to make sure Kyle's okay. But I don't, because I know now that his okay doesn't depend on me. It never did. He made his choices, and those choices hurt me, nearly killed me, and he has to live with that, just like I have to live with mine. The difference is, I'm trying to learn from mine. I don't know if he is, and that's not my responsibility anymore. I keep thinking about that moment in the hospital, waking up 3 days later, not knowing where I was or what had happened, just this overwhelming confusion and fear, and then, slowly, the memories filtering back. The phone call, the photo, the realization, the floor, and then nothing. 3 days of nothing. People talk about near-death experiences like they're profound, transformative, like you see a light or your life flashes before your eyes or you come back with some deep understanding of existence. I didn't get any of that. I got 3 days of darkness and then a hospital room and a bill I can't pay. But I did come back with something. Clarity. The kind of clarity you only get when you've been stripped down to nothing. When all the excuses and justifications and stories you tell yourself get burned away and you're left with just the truth. And the truth is this: I almost died for someone who didn't care enough to visit me in the hospital. I almost died for someone who spent my life saving money on drinks for his friends. I almost died because I confused sacrifice with love and obligation with family. And I can never let that happen again. Not with Kyle. Not with anyone. Because my life is worth more than that. I am worth more than that. It took almost dying for me to believe it. But I believe it now. And I'm holding on to that belief like a lifeline. Because some days, that's all I have. Some days the medical bills pile up and the exhaustion sets in and I look at my bank account. Nearly empty. Always empty now. And I wonder if I'm ever going to get ahead. If I'm ever going to feel safe again. If I'm ever going to stop being angry. Because I am angry. God, I'm so angry. Not at Kyle. Not anymore. He's just a kid who never grew up. A person who makes selfish choices and doesn't think about consequences. He is who he is, and I can't change that. But I'm angry at myself for not seeing it sooner, for not protecting myself better, for believing that love meant giving until there was nothing left to give. I'm angry that it took this, nearly dying, losing everything, 3 days in a coma, for me to realize my life mattered, that I mattered. And I'm working through that anger. Therapy helps, talking helps, writing this down helps. But it's still there, sitting in my chest right next to my broken heart, and sometimes I don't know which one hurts more. I think about the future now in ways I never did before. I used to just exist day to day, not really planning, not really thinking ahead. I figured things would work out. I figured I'd be okay. Now I know better. Now I know that things don't just work out. You have to make them work out. You have to fight for them. You have to choose them, deliberately and consciously every single day. So I'm choosing to take care of myself, to see my doctors, to take my medications, to rest when I need to rest instead of pushing through because I think I have to prove something. I'm choosing to rebuild my savings, slowly, a little bit at a time. It'll take years to get back what I lost, maybe longer, but I'm doing it. I'm choosing to set boundaries. with everyone. Not just Kyle, everyone. Because I realize now that he wasn't the only person in my life who took more than they gave. He was just the most obvious, the most devastating. But there were others. Friends who only called when they needed favors. Family members who expected me to show up for them, but were never there when I needed support. Co-workers who dumped their work on me because they knew I wouldn't say no. I'm saying no now. And it's terrifying. And it's lonely sometimes. Because some people don't stick around when you stop being useful to them. But the ones who do, the ones who stay, even when I can't give them anything but my company and my honesty, those are the people worth keeping. Those are the people who remind me what real family looks like. And it's not obligation. It's not sacrifice. It's not staying silent when someone hurts you because you're afraid of losing them. It's showing up. It's caring. It's respecting each other's boundaries and needs and limitations. It's knowing that love doesn't cost everything. It shouldn't cost everything. And if it does, it's not love. I'm learning what it means to live with a broken heart. Both kinds. The physical one is easier in some ways. There are medications for that, procedures, follow-up appointments, a plan. I know what I need to do to keep it beating, and I do it. The other one is harder, because there's no medication for betrayal, no surgery to repair trust, no follow-up appointment that'll tell me I'm healed and I can move on now. I just have to sit with it, feel it, let it hurt, let it scar, and slowly, slowly learn to live around it. Some days are better than others. Some days I wake up and I don't think about Kyle at all. I go to work, I come home, I watch TV or read or call a friend, and it's fine. I'm fine. Other days I see something, a father and son at the grocery store, a post on social media, a song Rebecca used to love, and it all comes flooding back. The anger, the hurt, the betrayal, the fear. And I have to sit with it. Again. Always again. But it gets easier. Not easy, easier. And I'll take that. Because the alternative, pretending it didn't happen, shoving it down, ignoring it, going back to the way things were, isn't an option. I almost died. I can't forget that. I won't forget that. And I can't go back to being the person who thought his life was worth less than everyone else's needs. Because it's not. And I'm not. And I'm done apologizing for believing that. If you've ever been where I am, if you've ever given more than you could afford because you thought it was the right thing to do, if you've ever sacrificed your own well-being for someone who didn't appreciate it, if you've ever woken up in a hospital bed wondering how you got there, I need you to hear this. You are not selfish for choosing yourself. You are not cruel for setting boundaries. You are not weak for walking away. You are surviving. And that is enough. It has to be enough, because the people who take and take and take without ever giving back, they're not going to change. They're not going to wake up one day and realize what they did to you. They're not going to apologize. Not really, not in a way that matters. And you can't wait for them to. You have to choose yourself anyway. Even when it hurts. Even when it's lonely. Even when everyone around you tells you you're wrong, you're selfish, you're giving up too easily. You have to choose yourself, because no one else will do it for you. I learned that the hard way. I learned it on a kitchen floor with a dying heart, and $17,000 I'll never get back. I learned it in a hospital bed with machines beeping and nurses checking my vitals, and 3 days I'll never remember. I learned it in the silence that followed. The weeks and months of waiting for an apology that never came. The realization that some people just don't care, no matter how much you give them. And I'm still learning it now. Every day. Every time I have to choose between what's easy and what's right. Every time I have to choose myself. It's not a lesson I wanted. It's not a lesson I would have chosen. But it's mine now. And I'm using it. To build a better life. A safer life. A life where my heart, both of them, gets to keep beating. Where I get to keep breathing. Where I get to keep choosing. Kyle doesn't get to take that from me. No one does. Not anymore. If you've ever given more than you could afford, financially, emotionally, physically, tell me in the comments. Tell me your story. Tell me where you're watching from and how you're surviving. Because you're not alone. I'm not alone. And maybe, if we tell each other the truth, if we stop pretending that sacrifice is the same thing as love, if we start choosing ourselves without shame, maybe we'll all heal a little faster. Maybe we'll all survive. And maybe, just maybe, we'll learn that our lives are worth fighting for, even when no one else is fighting for them. Especially then. Thank you for listening to my story, for staying with me through all of this, for witnessing my pain and my anger and my slow, stumbling journey towards something that looks like healing. It means more than you know. Take care of yourself. Choose yourself.